Hi guys, welcome back to the show. This is the Michael Ellis show, and today we've got Montez on the show. Welcome, Montez. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Michael.
So, how are you today? Are you well? Are you good?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're doing pretty well. The stock market's down, like really bad. News in the world today has got some things in a tizzy. But other than that, woke up productive. Got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things in the pipeline, and then my Google Calendar was like, "Bing, you got an interview with Michael Ellis on the show today." So I was like, "Sweet!" So I come in and got ready to do this thing. How are you doing today?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad. It's all good over here in the UK, so
The show today,
it's
so I
all
was
well.
like, "Sweet!" So I come. Oop.
Oop, don't know what happened then. That went a bit funny then. Um, so for the viewers at home, for the people that don't know who you are, do you want to just talk about yourself? Who you are, where you're from, how you've got to where you are today, and what you do.
Yes. Uh, my name is Montez McCamish. I am just 1 second. Can you just give me 1 second? 1 second.
Hmm. And we'll be right back with you in literally a few seconds. Um, I'm guessing that was the door.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, we're
Sorry.
back.
Sorry. I'm back. My name is Montez McCamish. I do anything that has to do with creation of content. It's what I like to really focus on. Um,
Mhm.
Everything's kind of transitioned and grown quite quickly within the 4 years of me doing the YouTube and the entrepreneurship and just being creative. If you were to come to me and tell me, hey, look, Montez, I've got this idea, uh, I would then process it down and try to find out how to let the masses know you have this idea. This is what you like to do. This is what you're about. And so it's kind of like who I am in a nutshell. I'm a kid. I have 3 kids. I'm a kid at heart. But I have 3 kids. Been married for 10 years now. And I'm 31 years old. So just kind of going through this life at especially this given time right now. It has a lot to offer me. And so I feel like with everything that I've learned through the social medias, through the internet, and through with a lot of connections growing up, and to the spaces of entrepreneurship and YouTube and musicians and videography, just all these different things, I felt like I've had a lot of experience and learned from a lot of different people.
That's amazing. So you've been married 10 years and you got 3 kids
10 years, 3 kids. Yes.
at the age of 31. That's pretty good going. That's pretty
Yes.
good going.
Yeah, I try to
Um,
kind of keep them close, and then but then we wanted to be able to be young enough to have fun with them too. That was a big thing. We wanted
yeah.
to make sure we could have fun and not be old and I don't know, bad joints and all that kind of stuff.
No, 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 man. That's awesome. And you still find the time to do what you do as well in terms of entrepreneurship as well,
Yeah,
because that's a quite a challenge for some people with kids, home life and starting off and being an entrepreneur and
yeah,
designating that time out.
yeah. It's I tell you what, it's very it really makes you sit down and think about time management. And then also too, kind of like looking at life. I don't know if any of y'all listen to Dan Pena, but he's a speaker, and or if you listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's a
Mm.
speaker as well. But just kind of looking back and saying, okay, look, I have a family, I have kids, I have things, but being able to time manage that, finding yourself to time manage everything that I can to be able to get those things done. So whether or not it's waking up earlier in the morning, going to bed later at night, pre-planning content, um, trying to be off the work at like 4 or 5 o'clock to spend that hour with the family or whatever it is that you're doing. It all really just comes down to time management. And I'm so thankful that Raymond Lowe's, he got with me and just really sat down and showed me how time management really works. Because at first, people say, "Oh, time management, time management." You don't really know that until like someone's like, "Hey, here's my calendar. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. At this time, I'm doing this. This time, I'm doing that." So it kind of gives you a real hands-on situation. But time management, man, I'll tell you that really plays a part.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned Dan Pena there. What do you think of his speaking style, so to speak?
I mean, I really like it. Like, I like the brash, raw, straight cut to your throat. Like, I like the. I don't mean he's right. There's a lot of if we was to like line a lot of people up and said, "Hey, look, here's the problem, and you got to go attack it down that line," a lot of people wouldn't make it. A lot of people would piss themselves before they got to the situation. And I think that that raw, brutal, um, being able to tell what you think about something without being sissified about it and thinking, "Oh, well, this person is going to get upset because I told him what I thought." I think that's a very fundamental part in life that we all are missing out on. Like, I don't, I'm not an advocate for being a bully. I don't think that being mean to people is per se the best thing. But then again, instead of idly going by and just agreeing with everything that anyone has to say, if you think they're full of shit, you can just tell them, "Hey, look, I don't believe what you're saying." Um, to validate, it just separates yourself from that. I don't know if you would call it class of person or whatever. It's literally so. I think a lot of the things that he does say and he does do is valuable. I don't agree with him all the time on the YouTube content because, like, if it was the case, then you wouldn't be doing YouTube either, Dan Pena. But I can align a whole lot with how he gets down and is just real bitter to your face. But I think that's the thing is again, um, parents and kids and children back in the days that he was talking about when he was living, the way that his dad taught him not to get in the road, he pushed him in front of a car. So I mean, like, you do that today, and people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" So like, I think then in general, sometimes just being able to bring back. I don't suggest pushing kids in front of cars and stuff like that, but I still think that you should allow your kid to find out what that situation is on its own. Quit babying things so much. Quit being so sentimental and sensitive towards things. I really think that his message through that is very powerful, man. And once you grasp that in life, I think in general you'll be able to sell, do, conquer almost anything. So
I think sometimes it's needed. I think sometimes that harsh treatment, that kick up the arse, is actually needed, so to speak. And I don't think we need a lot of people like Dan Pena in the world being that harsh in their content and the way they portray themselves. But I think just the right amount of them people is definitely something that there's a space for, and it's needed in the world.
well, I mean, just like this, I mean, you need to have good people, you need to have bad people, you need to have people
It's not bad. It's not bad.
no,
It's just stern.
stern. Yes, very stern, very straight to the point. Very, I mean, that's a leader. I mean,
Yeah.
not everyone can be a leader. Not everyone can be uh, the owner of a tribe or the leader of a religion. Not everyone can play those parts. And I think that when you look at a leader to a follower or a person that's just playing the game, I don't think I think I think I think the attitude of Dan Pena towards the attitude of the person just playing the game. I mean, you decide who do you want to follow behind. And I'm not trying to. Again, it's more of a back in the Viking days. It's more of those. I just think if we were to go back in the days and go back and live those lifestyles like we used to live back then, the brutality, the all right, let's just say the cops were gone. You know, back in the day when the cops weren't here. You know what I'm saying? Like if we were to go back and live that lifestyle, I just don't think. I mean, you tell me. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't think a lot of. But I think bringing that back into the world today, how he brings it back in the world today, it's how we all were. It's not that we. I think we just kind of a lot of us lost testosterone or lost our makeup to have us to be such brutes and what have you. But and I think there's a time and a place for everything too. You know, I mean, I think when you're in a conversation with someone and you're talking business, and if you continue to allow someone to just go by, you never ask them for money, you never get to that point saying, hey, look, my services are going to charge $25. You never get to that point. Well, then what are you just going to lay down all day? You won't, you know. So I think with his teaching and how he does things, just getting that hard kick in the ass, like you were saying, it gets you to that point to where you don't become afraid to ask for money. You don't become afraid to tell someone what you think. You don't become. So I think that's what that is. It's just it's a way he allows he brings that dickness or whatever you want to call out of you. He brings it out of you. So I think it's a very good introduction to sales, to be able to generate leads, almost like Grant Cardone. I don't think I don't think per se you need. I would say you would want to listen to Dan Pena and then go to Grant Cardone and then dumb it down a little bit, dumb down Dan Pena's stuff a little bit. But then when you segue into Grant Cardone closing on the phone, and you're talking about closing on the phone, the attitude that you'll develop from Dan Pena, then to go into Grant Cardone and say, all right, now I'm going to sell on the phone. I think you're going to have a very good introduction, teaching, or just tenacity to be able to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. Of course, it makes sense. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like the advice, the technique from Grant Cardone, plus the attitude towards the ballsness to actually go for the sale and go for the ask with Dan Pena, the combination of the both makes a really good play out team in a salesperson or asking for the sale, so to speak. So you really enjoy content creation in general. What's it like being a content creator? And what's it like collaborating with many different people? Because I know from your YouTube channel that you've collaborated with quite a few or quite a lot of people in the past. So what's that actually like?
Well, at first it was very overwhelming. Um, I think the hardest part to get over was the times to where I failed. Not within whether or not it was a person didn't come through because of the schedule conflict, or maybe I just didn't try. I just didn't do it that day. Consistency. That was the hardest part about it all. To wrap all that around and say, okay, I'm going to consistently go and do this, whether or not it's generating me an income or what have you. And at the time, you have someone else on the side of your head that's like, well, you should be making money off this. You should be making money. And all your friends will tell you all the ways of how they would have already done it and all these things like that. So you're hearing all these things and you're talking to all these people and you're like, well, how so it starts coming into this huge, crazy mess of stir fry in your brain. And so when you meet the person that you go to talk to genuinely, you kind of, if you don't put that stuff away, you won't be able to get the value out of it all. Like I wasn't if I would have been focused on financial gains out of this thing instead of knowledgeable gains, I think I would have missed the whole thing. I think I think I think I would have missed the importance of meeting that person. When it comes to meeting someone, I still always get that butterfly feeling, or whenever I prepare, even for this interview, I still get the butterfly feeling because I'm not sure the uncertainty of not knowing whether or not how it's going to play out, what it's going to do. So I always have those feelings, but now it's kind of like, um, now that I'm kind
Now
of
it's fine.
seasoned, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm seasoned at this. It's more or less, and now it's 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 more depressing when I see someone with potential, or I see someone that really could bring a light to the world in some kind of way, and they don't do it. It hurts me. It's like why don't you see your value? And so I end up running into that a whole lot more often now than I ever did, because I think I genuinely want to help someone now. At the time, it was more or less of just trying to build a brand. Honestly, it was just trying to build a brand. So anything and everything, I would just take it, So, but now when I meet someone genuinely, the right away I can tell whether or not a person's serious about what they're doing. Right away I can tell if they have a passion, or what their passion is, or I can sit down and find a puzzle, like a Rubik's cube, all together right away. But then I couldn't. So I'd say just in general now, it's a slower process. It's a lot slower than what it was. I'll take the time to do the research on that person before I even talk to them. If I find them to be interesting, or I find something that I like about that person, I will do my due diligence, my DD, to find out what is this person like, what is he about, what is she about, that I can relate myself to, so we can be in line when we do have conversation. Because at first, you start a conversation with somebody, and it's like you sit there and it's like, how am I really going to start this convo? And so you'll sit there and it's like a fly on the wall. You remember when you got your first girlfriend or your boyfriend, when you first got them, you'd be on the telephone and just be all silent and crickets and stuff. so like, I kind of it's graduated like that. You see, it's like that.
Don't take me back to those times when I'm sat on end up phone line with my girlfriend on over end up phone, just in silence. But you feel like you've got to stay on the phone because it's what you're supposed to be doing. It's awful.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's really evolved, because I think at the beginning of it all, like that's how it was. Like it was like, okay, wait, what are we supposed to be talking about again? Like it was either, okay, I'm gonna talk about how I want them to give me money, or I'm gonna talk about, so they were very brash and quick um, conversations. They weren't anything that you could have that were genuine. That as you say, a genuine conversation could last you a long time, whether or not you're talking about a pencil, or plants, or stocks. If you're genuine within it, the conversation is going to last. But if you have no genuinity inside of the thing, well, it's going to be a hit it and quit it kind of 5 minute kind of thing. So I think that's what it really has done. Just meeting all the people, but it's brought out the genuinity of myself, of me, to be able to bring out others.
Yeah. So that time when you was creating all this content, you were doing all this hard work, you were putting in the effort, you were meeting people, that you were going out there and making moves essentially. But you wasn't pulling in the money all the time.
No, Oh,
Um, what were some of the criticism you faced? You know, like with people that you were surrounded by, like so you say, your friends, I'm guessing your wife as well, and your family
yes,
members.
yes.
What were some of the criticisms that you said, and how did you manage to keep going throughout that? Because some people give up.
Right. Yeah. I'd say the criticism more or less of is it doesn't it's not in the fashion of, oh, you look terrible, oh, your hair's
No, no,
bad.
it's not. It's not.
It's
It's never
it's
like
very
that.
yeah, it's a very different kind of it's snarky, it's hidden under the rock. It's subtle but enough to ruffle the feathers, you know? It's like someone it's it's through someone else or through someone else's actions that you see the and it's really crazy. It's I guess the best way to equate it is to say the crab in the bucket mentality. Um, I don't want to see him do better, so I'm gonna try to pull him down, or
Mm.
someone else is doing something, and so they'll try to want to collaborate with you, and then when they collaborate with you, well, then next thing you know, you're doing all their idea instead of doing what you were doing. So a lot of things that the criticism comes in a way to where it tries to knock you off of your focus. Somebody like the Meade County local, oh man, running that monster. The criticism isn't to me, it's to the business. So like it's almost like if someone like says something about your kid, oh, he's short, you know, starts talking about your dog. Look at that ugly thing. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's like, yo, that's my dog, bro. Like, leave it alone. You know, so like it that kind of hurts. It hurts in that nature. Like when someone's like, um, for instance, there might be a wreck and we'll report it on the Meade County local and we'll have a picture, won't see nobody's face, but just kind of giving a visual. And then someone will get on there and be like, Meade County local, y'all are POSs because look what you did. It's kind of like it hurts me in that general because you're hurting my business, which is my baby, which is my so the criticism comes in that kind of form. Visually, someone coming up to me and saying, "Hey, Montez, you know, this is what I think." You know, honestly, I don't pass out handshakes. I don't give out high fives. I don't give out glasses of water. I'm just usually got my face down on the ground and I'm hustling. So, like, if you got something to say, uh, I'll hear it, but probably I won't hear it. It's bad because it's not that I don't get other people's feedback because I do get feedback through the YouTube channel, through the content I create, through. But if someone's coming to me and telling me something, it doesn't really surface to me anymore because I'm so busy doing other things that like you really got to stop me to it has to be something that's going to take me off my like I said the way you have to take someone off of their pivot to be able to the when you put someone down or something like that, that doesn't hurt me. What hurts me is when you start hurting about my business. You start talking about what so those it's so weird. You want you if you wanted to hurt someone nowadays, I think you do have the people you can talk about their clothes, you can talk about those things, but now it's just business. So I think that's the only real big hardest thing. I mean, and then with the wife, and then with the kids, like I just had to get on my kids just a little while ago. I was like, girls, I'm doing an interview. Be quiet. And then lo and behold, it is 10 o'clock. We usually feed the dogs at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, they come running in here and they start pouring the dog food, all sorts of noises. And that's where I had to go real quick to tell the kids to leave, you know. So they're probably upset at me at this given time. But it took me off my pivot. So I think the distractions. I think when someone, that's the hardest part is dealing with those kinds of things. I think that coming over being black and doing business in Meade County, especially doing those kinds of things, that's not a factor anymore. It's not. It's past that. It's like what can you do to destroy my business? That's what hurts.
Now, it's funny that you should say that because I've been thinking that for quite some time. That last line that you said there, like you said, like being, I'm gonna say ethnic minority, um, or however you want to put it, is not so much an issue anymore. Being a businessman, being in business, um, I don't think it is. Even though I still hear it from time to time, um, that it is a challenge for people of ethnic minorities to start up a business. White privilege is still, it's still a thing. Don't get me wrong, it is still a thing. White privilege is still a thing. But I don't think it's so much of a big issue anymore than what it used to be.
No doubt. I think that a little bit it's kind of crazy. So if you break down the way that a person thinks, and if you say for instance, and a lot of people might not see this in the right way, but if you're
It does,
proud,
it's
if
an
you're
hard subject, isn't it, to talk
yeah,
about?
it's a if you're proud of what it is that you've done in your life, whether or not you've been a slave or you were at the bottom of the totem pole, the dish boy. If you were at the bottom of the line, if you're able to embrace that, that's the best thing you can do because that's who you are. That's what you are. That's what you do. So for me, at first, I was my biggest I was my biggest problem because oh, I'm black. I'm gonna go out here and try to be a businessman amongst whites. Okay. First thing,
See,
wrong attitude.
that's
Wrong attitude.
that's where I think we are as a society in a whole, in general,
But that's
in
the
the whole
that's the
world
wrong that's the
at this
wrong
moment in time,
that's the
is
wrong yeah, that's
is
the
that
wrong
it,
attitude. You do not
it's down to you now. I think
yeah,
it's
yeah,
more down to you
yeah,
than anything else.
you don't want to no one dictates on what you can and that was the biggest thing is I think because everyone's so used to having a 9 to 5, having a
Yeah.
regular job, and when you have a regular job, someone's like, look, I'm going to pay you $10 an hour and you're going to work this many days and this you get stuck in this thought process of like, well shit, someone's controlling me, so and then so next thing you know you're gonna think that something it tells you that you can do that someone and then so on top of that if you can look at something and say look it has no hold to me, it has no gain to me, it has no loss to me, it is what you make it, then it doesn't become and I think people especially African Americans that want to start business the hardest thing that they got to do is learn to love themselves like so what like if this person thinks this way about you, so what? Embrace it. Let that be the difference between. And I think if you go out in general, if you're saying, and that's what I was starting at, if you go out in general and you say, well, this person isn't going to let me work here because I'm black or because of this, you've already done yourself a disjustice. First of all, you cannot want something and then deny it at the same time. You can't say, all right, I want to be successful, but this person over here is making me. How do you expect to go forwards? It just doesn't. So I think the thought process in Africans Americans usually, and it might be a way of the system of how it's been planned out. They're the biggest. We are our own biggest problem to overcome. It's not that someone has a stigma. We've already put it on our own selves, saying, "Oh, well, he probably won't let me do this because I'm black, or he won't." And once you get that shit out of the way, I think it becomes a lot easier to look at life or business or anything else and say, you know, hey, maybe he does want you because you are black. Maybe he does want the different way that you think, and stop thinking about ways to stop putting yourself down. Self worth and self care, self love. Those things are very, very. I spend a lot of time. I mean, no hand parties or nothing, but I spend a lot of time like loving myself, loving, loving what my family, loving. I mean, take a shower every day. You know what I mean? Like look good, smell good, feel good, do good, eat good, exercise, do all these things, and I think you'll be a lot better off. You won't have that. Oh, I can't do this because I'm black. Yeah, how can you say that if you feel good, you look good, you do good, you are good? How could you say that?
No, yeah, I agree with everything that you said. Like the way I see it, is there must be a hell of a lot of people nowadays that are like myself, and I see no race, no color, no nationality, no nothing. I just see people as people, and that's it.
Yeah,
And I honestly believe that there's more people like me in this world today than there is of the other people, of the other side of people, the people that are still racist, that are still nationalist, or what, however you want to, whatever bracket you want to put them in. I think there's more people like me that just see people as people now than anything else.
yeah. I mean, uh, there's a scripture in the Bible. It says, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Um, and I think there's a lot of people that will sit back and wait for a handout, wait for, and I don't want to say handout because that's just really, but they're just waiting for a situation to happen to where they could take advantage of it. A guy posted yesterday, "What's a bottom feeder?" And I was like, "Well, I think a bottom feeder is probably one of the most renowned, smart persons because he waited to make everything fit in just a certain line. This person's going to do this. This person's going to do that." And they crawled their way up and made it out of the bucket while everybody else is still in the bucket. So I think there's a lot of people that just really have a lot of talk and don't really do a lot of walking, or else there'd be a lot more successful beings. And I think now is the easiest time, but the door's closing. The door's about ready to close. Like for anyone that's trying to get started in their social media world or whatever, I mean, it's
I
easy
don't
to do,
I
but
don't agree with that.
you don't
I
think it's
believe
going to close.
no, I don't believe it's going to close. I don't think it's going to close at all. I think it depends on what your definition of success is. If you're wanting to rise up to the top and be top dog, and make
No,
and be
like
ultra successful, then yes, the door's closing on that. But
the
being successful in your own right, to where you're earning a living and doing the thing that you want to do and love, I don't think the door's ever going to close on
well, I mean, no, that's. I mean, if you love to plant food, you become a gardener. If you love to find things, go become a ginseng hunter. If you love to build things, become a carpenter. As far as doing things that you love and making money off of them, no, that will never ever quit. But as far as being able to become an influencer online,
that.
that's
See, I
about.
don't. I still don't think that time is up or anywhere near up.
Well,
I still think YouTube
oh no, that's done.
is is
That's
is
done.
is a baby.
That's
It's still
done.
a baby.
That's
It's
done.
not done.
It's
It's not
done.
done.
Here's why I think so. YouTube and Facebook. Facebook's getting ready to have to find something to do quite soon, or else
Yeah, Facebook
they're not going to be around very much longer.
is very much stalling in its time. It like it's getting that way where There's less and less interaction on the platform. More, I'm seeing it. I don't know if other people are seeing it. Must be other people that are seeing it.
And just like Facebook, YouTube's going to do the same thing. But if you've noticed, monetization is what most YouTubers that was what I wanted, right? I didn't want to do this for just to make videos. That was not what I mean. Don't get me wrong. I do love creating stuff, but no, I was doing this to make some money too, you know. So as far
Obviously.
as you getting your 1,000 subscribers and getting your 100-hour watch time stuff, kiss that goodbye. That's probably about done. There's no more. The door for that is closed. Matter of fact, I can tell you a guy I know, Family Tree Nuts. He makes history videos. Great channel. His name's Russ Carsell Jr. Great guy. We've collaborated before. He finally got to his 1,000 subscribers. He's already had his watch time hours. And then he submits to AdSense and writes AdSense and says AdSense writes him says that they don't want his content. They don't need his content. And you say why? It's all history. Why? Well, it's too personal. It's too historical. It's too censorship. Now that censorship coming in, no, if you haven't made it, good luck. Like, because censorship is just not Clubhouse. They made Clubhouse to help stop censorship. You know, all these different programs, all these different MeChat or whatever that was, all these different programs come up to say that they want to stop censorship. But here's the thing is, pretty sure the internet, unless you're doing like blockchain or if like you're doing like, yeah, like Steam It, when Steam It came out, that was really cool because it was blockchained. But how long did it last till it got shut down? That's what I'm telling you. There's not, and the door's closed. It's not all the way closed yet, but it's closing. It's closing. Once you get to the level where you're supposed to be, it's going to be hard as ever for you to be able to monetize. But I think things like Spotify, Anchor, I still have faith in Instagram. I think apps like those are going to grow. Spotify is going to be your new YouTube. I'm willing to bet Spotify marks YouTube over 13,000 times over. If not, it's going to have YouTube paying royalties out the ass to where it's going to have to give up.
So, what do you see with Spotify? Where do you see Spotify going and taking over?
Well, so Spotify is basically, you know, at first YouTube was a place for all your artists, all your musicians, all your major labels. That's where they housed all their music. Then what happened? Pandora, right? Then they went to Pandora. Pandora started doing some crazy stuff. Some people are still there, but then iTunes, you know, all these different social media popped up. Then you had Spotify. Spotify popped up, but Spotify hit it on a whole nother level because they brought it to the point to where you can watch a music video on Spotify if you wanted to, but chances are you're not going to want to because you're plugged up to your car, you're in your headphones, your AirPods, you're in these kinds of things. You're listening to a podcast. You're into those kinds of things. So not only that.
Did you know that they're actually Spotify are actually starting to do video podcasts as well now?
That's
so
yes.
just like this, like we are now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Instead,
it's gonna be video, and it's
and
going
you can
to
switch between video or audio simultaneously.
So that's and not to mention the royalties that one is getting paid out. Like I wanted to bring this company to you. I'm not sure if anyone knows about it. I'm also have to grab my charger in a minute because my computer is almost dead. There is this. 1 second, and I'll have it up for you. there is this company because okay. Spoken Giants is the name of it. ISRC codes. Are you familiar
Smoking
with
Giants.
those? Yes, Spoken Giants
Oh,
is
Spoken Giants.
yes, Spoken Giants is an ad or not a revenue agency that whether or not you're talking comedian voice or you're doing podcast or you're doing like this, just like music's, when you're playing music, you get a spin, you get paid. Well, you can get paid for your podcast talking, just regular words talking. So this new company, that I was just saying, Spoken Giants has partnered up with Spotify that will pick up your royalties. So when 100 people listen to your podcast, Big Giants is going to pay you, and you don't have to worry about going through like BMI or ASCAP or any of those kinds of things. So, and then not only that, but they're going to pay you way more than what YouTube's been paying you. You're talking 5 cents per no, like a fifth of a penny per 100,000 spins. Versus now you go to Spotify, you get paid double it, and then not only do you get paid on your voice, you get paid for production. You get so YouTube. What's the point anymore to create here if you can go somewhere else and get paid for all the different ways of paying, from audio to video to even pictures, because they got slideshows that you can put in through there. So I mean, like, YouTube's gonna fall through. It has no choice. Other than that, and then plus with all of its legal issues that it's going with from country to country, telling people that it needs to pay and trying to make other countries pay YouTube, like, they're gonna fall on their face. They got to understand that there are other people that are around that will do the things that they need to do. Like Microsoft. I don't know if anyone's familiar with what Microsoft's getting ready to come out with. Facebook's messing around too much, and Microsoft's going to come back, and they're going to be able to do a whole lot of stuff that's been left open due to the powers that be that think that they have the power that they don't. Nothing is new underneath this sun, especially not now. Like not now, especially.
And that's the thing with not just social media platforms or creative platforms in general, but just with the majority of stuff out there now. Like, if you think about it, then if you've got an idea and you want to do your idea and you want to take it to the market and you want to make it available to the masses, you got to understand that it's probably already been done.
Probably, yeah, probably.
It's probably already out there. There's not many new things, like you say, under the sun anymore.
Well, see, so I was speaking with. Excuse me, I'm just trying to plug up my computer real quick. I was speaking with a good guy, friend of mine, Raymond Los, and he's a pretty good friend of mine. And this is going to blow your. It's going to put upchucks everywhere. I did. Have you ever watched the Jetsons?
No.
So if you go back, Flintstones, back those. All right. So if you go back, you can get it on HBO Max. Plug. But you can get it on HBO Max, and you can watch from the very beginning of the episodes. And this was done. The Jetsons was created. I don't want to tell no lie here. When was the Jetsons?
I mean, you got to bear in mind that like this show here, it's completely unscripted. I mean, if you were to get something wrong, and like
1962,
it wouldn't matter too much.
The Jetsons were created in 1962. But if you watch the Jetsons now, it's out now. But 1962, this is created. So they're making all these things. Cell phones that came down from the wall. They had cell phones on your. They had watch phones. They had TVs that were talking to you. They had when you come into the room, you sit in this chair and it would take you across the room and you clean your face off and you feel good. In 1962, they were creating this stuff. We have it right now. Right now. Like that is mind numbing, bro. Like that is like so if a man really wanted, and here's the thing is like the Apple Watch, that's bullshit. Whoever started that, they got that from the Jetsons. They watch like literally if you want to invent something right now, watch those kinds of shows. Watch Powerpuff Girls. Watch all your cartoons that came out early because these people were thinking ahead of time. What can I create? What did the cell phone? What does the car? What does all these things, inventions ahead of time? And then you watch that content right there, and there's something that's going to spark your brain to where you're going to next thing you're going to say, oh, I want to build that. I can make that. I can do that. Because nowadays we can do that. We just had a spaceship land on Mars. You know, so come on, man. Like I don't know. It just blows my mind. Yeah, if you want
it blows my mind. The only thing that I will say is if there's any budding inventors or if there's any of them listening or watching, then don't go out there and don't try to make a flying car. That is one thing the world does not.
Well, you know what? I was waiting. I wanted you to say that. I was going to say this, but you said that. You know, we already got flying cars. You know what they are?
Yeah, I mean,
airplanes.
We do, but I mean, like a personal flying car.
Oh, it's called a jet, a personal jet. like that's them now.
They're fine. They're fine. We can have them.
You just don't want like a robot, like a Robex, like the tires slide down and we hovering over it and flying like that. Then
no, I think if we had the same amount of flying cars as we do now, normal cars, we'd have a disaster on our hands. Massive disaster.
Yeah, it would. I'm kind of technology is. It's allowed a lot of things. It's allowed a lot of things like trading. Man, I couldn't imagine having to do trading back in the day. Get on the phone and like pull my stocks. Like that would have been bad, bro. That would have been bad, man. That would have been really bad.
Yeah, you can. Well, in today's world, you can just do it with a few clicks of a button, and you're done.
Done. Yeah, done. Robinhood or Charles Schwab or any of those guys, you can just trade right there. You can trade walking down the road, get some insights on something, find something you like, and trade right there. Like it's really and then also too just with the internet.
That's still fairly new, because when I was 18, so I'm 32 now. 14 years ago, I sold some stocks that was left to me from my auntie, and that was a challenge back then. Only 14 years ago, it was a challenge to sell my stocks. Wasn't exactly a huge challenge, but still I had to go through some loops. It wasn't just clicking the buttons on a keyboard and a mouse.
Yeah,
and that were only 14 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
we had computers then.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine 14 years ago, you don't even have a phone, and you got some stocks, and money's tanking on that thing. You got to go drive all the way there, go to the floor, tell them you want to trade out your stocks. They'll write it down for you, and then hopefully it'll go through that way. Like, no, as I say, a lot of things in this world today are relatively new. It's just that I don't think that humans really have a lot of humans have the ambition to see it through, or to find it through, or to have it through. Like they just, I mean, it's almost like if they want the fire, it blew my mind. You know, I had to learn entrepreneurship at an early age, but when I first sold a rock off the ground, like the pet rock, I too thought I was the man. Like I was like, dude, I'm selling rocks off the ground. Like I might as well just put a smiley face on this thing and call it the pet rock. And but then on the other hand of that, what I saw was sheer sadness. It was I can understand if someone's older and they don't want to go to the woods to go get the rock, to go do that. But to see a human being be so lazy to not go and get their own rock, to make their own mailbox, and then instead pay me $250 to go do it. That's when I realized society is kind of on a downward spiral. Like, um,
Now,
if we had to take care of our own chicken and horses and cows, there would be dead people, bro. Like, because we are not. We go to the grocery store I had a friend make a post the other day, says he spent $300 in groceries. I just want to ask him, what are you buying? Are you buying all bagged, heated up Salisbury steaks? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, he said, that's a month. I said, no way. I said, no way. But the thing is he doesn't know how to eat. He doesn't know how to, everything's so readily available. We've become stupid.
I think that's happened over time, though. It's not something that's just instantly happened. It's like it's been a 200 to 250-year process of getting to that way, and it's through entrepreneurship and inventors that have turned around and go, how can we make this easier? How can we make this
Well, look,
more
cursive,
attractive to
cursive,
buy, easier, and more
cursive,
consumable?
cursive penmanship, cursive. That took about 2 years. They had that gone. It's been gone for about 2 years, not in the curriculum in school any longer. For about 2 years, no one knows how to do it. A lot of people, the people that are born after that, they will not know how to do it. 2 years to erase penmanship. It took 2 years to do that, and then if heaven forbid they don't, lead becomes poisonous and they don't want us to use lead to write with anymore, we just got to do all typing. Then what? Then we forget to write, how to write. Honestly, let me tell you what. I'm a good writer and I'm good at writing, but being that I keyboard so much, my fingers get tired when I have to write. When's the last time you wrote? Literally wrote.
When was the last time I wrote?
Yes.
I haven't wrote today, so yesterday. It'll have been yesterday.
Yesterday. And the time before that?
I probably write nearly every day.
So time being though, like when you used to go to school, you had to write a paper, so it'd be like an hour, 30 minutes worth of writing.
Yeah. So, like, if you're going by that, then yeah, probably a couple of minutes a day.
Yeah, it's but it's unreal because you're kind of like, you're like me, we're like each other, we share that same kind of. But just imagine how many people haven't spent that 20, and then still when I do, if I try to write for 30 minutes, like just if I'm just writing 30 minutes, just spend 30 minutes a day to write, my hands get tired.
Yeah, it hurts.
Even after an hour, even to dumb it down, after 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you be like, "Whoa, dang it!" Like
You start to feel it.
like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Like it's like. But the fingers are starting to. My fingers are breaking or something because I used to be able to hold pencil. I remember when I used to get in trouble and the principal would be like, "You know what? You're gonna write definitions instead of playing." You remember that? When you had to write out of the dictionary instead of going to PE, you had to write the definitions. And I would be there for the whole PE class. So that'd be like 30 minutes writing definitions. Like, I can't do that no more. Like, I mean, not without my finger hurting, you know? Like, it's weird. That's weird. That's what the computer board has done to you. It's done to me too. And that hasn't been very long, you know?
No, I haven't.
Mind numbing, bro. Mind numbing really is. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, it's very, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing stuff. how quickly everything has changed.
Are we deteriorating?
Are we what?
Are we deteriorating? Are we deteriorating? Are we getting broke down? Deteriorating?
Yeah, I think we are. I seriously think we are. Slowly but surely.
Next thing we know, we're gonna be losing they're like, well, you don't need the pinky anymore, so you can just have these ones. Like next day, I mean, start losing teeth or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like,
It's weird. It's been interesting chatting to him today. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there any parting words that you want to say before we close it out?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this. We kind of just had a little fun chatting, talking. I hope you get to see a little bit more of who I was, get to see inside of me. Hope to be back on the show, Michael. Stop back in and do one of these because it feels good to be able to. It's been a while since I've done an interview and talked about what I've done and what I'm going through and the process and stuff. So it's real fun. It was real fun to talk. And if ladies and gentlemen, if you want to follow me, you can do so. It's on the screen displayed for you. It's Montez.com, a website, or you can go to the MeadeCountyLocal.com or MeadeCountyLocal.news. Go to Facebook, type it in. Any of the social media sites that'll be on there. Or you just search me on Google, MONTEZMCCAMISH. Yes. So thank you, Michael, for having me on.
No, it's no problem, brother. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Like I said, we've got quite a few similarities. So it's just been easy. It's been an easy interview.
Yeah.
Really easy interview.
Yeah.
Like I said, guys, on the screen you can see there. It's Montez.com. That's it's with a Z. Also, the link is in the description below to just make it easier for you guys, and on the show notes on the podcast. And yeah, you can, like you said, you can catch up with him on social media, which is Meade County Local. Forgot what it is now. Meade County Local, in it.
Yeah, Meade County Local. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got a Facebook page and a Facebook group, haven't you?
Yes. Facebook page and group. Meade County Local Group is what that one would be called.
Right. So that's where you can go catch up with Montez. And like I said, it's been a pleasure having you on. And
thank you so much.
Thanks for you guys watching at home. And thanks for listening on the podcast. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.